Hey everyone! Today, we're talking about one of the most interesting dynasties in history, the Ghaznavid Empire. This dynasty wasn't just about power and conquests. It was a story of ambition, survival, and dominance. The Ghaznavids ruled from 977 to 1186, stretching their empire from the Oxus River all the way to the Indus Valley. It all began with Subuktigin, who rose to power after succeeding his father-in-law, Alp-Tigin, a former general of the Samanid Empire. What started as a small stronghold in Ghazni quickly grew into a powerful kingdom. Subuktigin's son, Mahmud of Ghazni, took the empire to incredible heights. He expanded its borders east to the Indus River and even reached the Indian Ocean. In the west, he pushed as far as Ray and Hamadan. But like most great empires, their dominance didn't last forever. After the Battle of Dandanakan in 1040, the Ghaznavids started losing control of their western territories to the Seljuk Empire. By the mid-12th century, their influence was shrinking, and in 1151, Sultan Bahram Shah lost Ghazni to the Ghurids. Though they managed to reclaim it briefly, the city eventually fell into the hands of Mahmud of Ghazni. The Ghaznavids retreated to Lahore, but even that wasn't safe for long. In 1186, Lahore was taken, and their last ruler, Khusrau Malik, was captured and later executed, marking the end of their reign. Now, let's rewind and talk about how it all started. The Ghaznavid dynasty emerged from the Turkic slave soldiers of the Samanid Empire. Two key families, the Simjurids and Ghaznavids, rose to prominence during a time of chaos in the Samanid court. Alp-Tigin, one of these Turkic generals, moved south of the Hindu Kush and took control of Ghazni, establishing it as his base. After his death in 963, his slave and successor, Subuktigin, took over. Subuktigin proved to be a strong and capable leader, securing his position and expanding his influence across the region. Subuktigin's leadership set the stage for even greater expansion under his son, Mahmud. After defeating his brother Ismail in 998, Mahmud became the undisputed ruler and transformed the Ghaznavid dynasty into a powerhouse. He pledged loyalty to the Abbasid Caliphate and used this as a means to legitimize his rule. Mahmud's reign was marked by 17 campaigns into India, bringing back massive amounts of wealth and spreading his influence far and wide. His conquests took him to places like Mathura, Kanauj, and Somnath, where he looted temples and established his dominance. Mahmud's Indian expeditions are often remembered for their brutality and plundering. In 1018, he raided Mathura, a city considered one of the richest in India, leaving it in ruins and taking immense amounts of gold and silver. In 1026, he targeted the famous Somnath temple, carrying away treasures worth millions. These campaigns not only expanded his empire, but also filled his coffers, allowing him to build a magnificent capital in Ghazni, and support poets and scholars, making it a cultural hub. Despite all his successes, Mahmud's death in 1030 marked the beginning of decline for the Ghaznavids. His successors struggled to hold the empire together as internal conflicts and external threats mounted. The Ghaznavids faced pressure from the Seljuks in the west and the Ghurids in the east. And after Mahmud's death, his son Muhammad inherited the throne. Unlike his father, Muhammad was soft-spoken and mild-mannered, which some saw as a weakness. Meanwhile, his brother Masud, a bold and ambitious man, demanded a share of the empire, 3 provinces that he claimed to have won through his military efforts. Muhammad refused, and this sparked a bitter conflict between the two brothers. Masud eventually defeated Muhammad, blinded him, and took the throne. Masud, however, struggled to hold the empire together. After a disastrous defeat at the Battle of Dandanakan in 1040 against the Seljuks, he lost much of the Ghaznavid territory in Persia and Central Asia. The defeat sent the empire into chaos, and in a desperate move, Masud gathered his treasures to rebuild his army. Unfortunately, his own forces betrayed him, looted his wealth, and overthrew him. Muhammad was briefly restored as king, but the two brothers continued their tragic power struggle. Mahmud was eventually imprisoned and assassinated, ending his troubled reign. The instability didn't end there. Mahmud's son, Mahmud, tried to reclaim the throne, but internal divisions and rival claimants weakened the empire further. Over the next 9 years, 4 different rulers took control, but none could restore the Ghaznavids to their former glory. In 1058, Ibrahim, the son of Mahmud, finally brought some stability. Known for his calligraphy skills, he even wrote the Quran by hand. Ibrahim secured peace with the Seljuks and shifted focus to cultural growth and territorial raids in northern India. His reign marked a calmer period, but it was clear that the empire was no longer the dominant force it once was. Ibrahim's successor, Mahmud III, ruled for 16 years. He left behind architectural marvels like the palace of Sultan Mahmud III and one of the Ghazni minarets. However, signs of decline were already visible. When he died in 1115, his sons fought for the throne, leading to more instability. Eventually, Sultan Bahram Shah emerged victorious, but had to accept the Seljuks' authority, effectively becoming their vassal. Bahram Shah ruled for 35 years and tried to maintain control, but he faced relentless challenges. In 1148, he lost Ghazni to Saif al-Din Suri, but managed to retake it the following year. However, his troubles didn't end there. Ala al-Din Hussein, a Ghurid king, attacked Ghazni in 1151 to avenge his brother's execution. He burned the city for 7 days, earning the nickname World Burner. Although Bahram Shah temporarily regained Ghazni with Seljuk support, the city changed hands multiple times before finally falling to the Ghurids, around 1170. The Ghaznavids, now reduced to controlling only Lahore, shifted their focus to northern India. For a while they maintained some influence, but in 1186, Mahmud of Ghazni conquered Lahore, captured the last Ghaznavid ruler, Khusra Malik, and executed him along with his son in 1191. And with that, the once mighty Ghaznavid dynasty came to an end. Despite their decline, the Ghaznavids left behind a legacy of military innovation. Their armies were made up of Turks, Afghans, and even Hindus, who played key roles in campaigns. Sultan Mahmud established large military training centers, and after conquering Punjab, the Ghaznavids integrated Indian soldiers into their forces. These soldiers practiced their own religions and were loyal to their commanders, showing the diversity within the army. The Ghaznavids also borrowed military strategies and administrative systems from the Abbasid Caliphate. Early campaigns heavily relied on Arabian horses, and their cavalry played a crucial role in battles, especially in India. Records even mention 6,000 Arabian horses being used in a campaign against King Anandapala in 1008. Later, the Ghaznavids adapted to Indian warfare, introducing war elephants armored with protective plating. These massive beasts became a formidable force, especially in battles outside India where such tactics were uncommon.